We have called you here to respond to a story KTN aired on 26th March 2015, and the story featured in the Nairobian on 27th March, accusing the Archbishop of Kisumu's office of looting millions of Kenya shillings. We strongly believe the story was malicious and full of inaccurate information. We hope by the end of this press conference, you will have true information on the main issues raised in the story. I now call Father Moses to address the press conference.
On 26th March 2015, KTN aired a story accusing the Archbishop of Kisumu's office of swindling millions of Kenya shillings. From our investigation, it appears that confidential documents in parcels addressed the Apostolic Nuncio's office in Nairobi were illegally intercepted, photocopied, and handed over to KTN journalists. In the process of illegally copying the documents, the persons doing so probably mixed them up, as was reflected on the KTN story. The people behind the story carefully developed a scheme purposely meant to tarnish Archbishop Zacchaeus Okoth's name by accusing his office of corruption and misappropriation of diocese funds. Archbishop Okoth has been very critical on injustice and corruption in Kenya. The way the KTN story was crafted and the timing make us suspect it is part of a bigger scheme to discredit the Archbishop and the Catholic Church in Kenya. The allegations of corruption against the Archbishop's office were baseless and without any substance. The people interviewed were constantly asked closed questions that required yes or no answer, clearly showing journalist bias and lack of neutrality.
The Archdiocese of Kisumu is one of the most developed dioceses in Kenya. Why did the KTN journalists fail to notice billions worth of investments done by the Archdiocese of Kisumu? We have built and run several institutions of learning from nursery to university. We have also built several polytechnics, including Barkorua and Koro Youth Polytechnics. One of the biggest development projects ever implemented by the Archdiocese of Kisumu is the Uzima University of Health Sciences. The other development projects in the Archdiocese of Kisumu include several hospitals such as St. Monica and St. Joseph's Hospital and Medical Training College. Furthermore, the Archdiocese has initiated and even surrounded the state many development projects. You can only claim that funds have been stolen if you have evidence that they have been transferred from the account of the Archdiocese to a private account. Such a thing has never happened in the Archdiocese. We'd like to clearly inform KTN that the Archdiocese of Kisumu cannot apply for funds from non-existent and fictitious projects as they allege. It is practically impossible to apply for funds from the Vatican and fail to implement the intended projects. At times, the project implementation pace may be lower than is expected because of the poverty level at the local community, which may prolong the time required to raise the necessary local contributions. But at the end of the day, projects must be implemented. The funds that we receive from our donors and sponsors are a small fraction of those needed to implement our project. Having said that now, let us address the key issues raised in the story accusing the Archbishop's office.
Sisters of Mercy, Muhoroni Conference. The parish house in Our Lady Queen of Peace, Catholic Church, Muhoroni, which was given to the sisters, was built when Muhoroni was still under Koru Parish. When Sisters of Mercy from England came to the Archdiocese of Kisumu, we offered them the parish house, which was big enough to accommodate them. The parish priest was appointed when the sisters were already living in the parish house, and he happily moved to the temporary shelter as is customary when new parishes had begun. KTN claimed that the parish house has not been built. This is misleading because the parish house is there and already hosts the missionary sisters of Mercy. Furthermore, the sisters did not kick out the parish priest from the parish house, as KTN alleged. The current parish priest has only been there for a few months, yet the sisters have been living in the parish house for several years. Christ the King, Cathedral Convent. Our report to the Nuncious office never indicated that the Cathedral Convent had been built, and we never attached any photo to that report. We instead attached an impression drawing. KTN claimed our report indicated that the construction of the Cathedral Convent was complete, and the reporters even used a wrong photo. At Cathedral Parish, we are currently building the church. Customarily, we give priority to the building of the church. In fact, the church has reached the roof level. Once we finish building the church, the convent will be built. Holy Cross Catholic Convent at Karapulsiai. The Archdiocese of Kisumu received funds for the construction of the Holy Cross Sisters Convent in Karapul in November 2014. KTN alleged that Someone signed and seemingly pocketed the cash. This is grossly misleading because the money is in the account of the Archdiocese of Kisumu. As soon as we raise the local contribution, the convent will be built. St. Michael, Sigomre Parish Convent. The Archdiocese of Kisumu applied for funds for the construction of Sigomre Convent in November 2014. But we have not yet received the funds.
Brothers of Our Lady of Perpetual Help, Chapel Construction Corps. The Archdiocese of Kisumu applied for funds for the construction of Brothers of Our Lady of Perpetual Help Chapel in Koru in November 2014. Even in this case, KTN misled the public by maliciously showing the application for funds, but not informing the public that no funds had been raised for the project. The application for funds was signed by Brother Frederick Ochieng Ogutu, but in their report, KTN claimed that he left the brothers' home 3 years ago. This is false and misleading information, because Brother Frederick is still a brother within the Archdiocese of Kisumu. As a member of the Brothers' Council, Brother Frederick oversees the Brothers' projects. Brothers of Our Lady of Perpetual Help, extension of St. Luke Community. The Archdiocese of Kisumu applied for funds for extension of our Korwa Brothers House in 2013, and the money was received in November 2014. KTN, however, alleged that the money was donated, signed for, but it was never used for the construction work. This is once again inaccurate and misleading information. The money is safe in the account of the Archdiocese of Kisumu and will soon be used to extend the Brothers' House when we raise the local contribution.
The issue of signatures. The Archbishop of Kisumu oversees and supervises the planning and implementation of diocesan projects in close collaboration with the pastors and administrative financial staff. Whenever the Archdiocese of Kisumu receives funds for projects, the Archbishop signs and ensures they are deposited in the diocesan bank accounts and channeled to the approved projects. However, the Archbishop wasn't aware that someone within the office was signing letters on behalf of priests, brothers and sisters. He has therefore ordered an internal investigation into the issue and will act accordingly.
The KTN story was one-sided and erratic. Even when the KTN reporters traveled to places where construction work was ongoing, they carefully avoided to show such constructions. For instance, they did not clearly show Cathedral Church, which is at the roof level. They also failed to mention that the Sisters of Mercy, hosted in the parish house in Moroni, have set up several community projects, including an hospice with an inpatient facility offering total pain management. The hospice also has a psychosocial support group for those living with HIV and AIDS.
The sisters also built a mortuary and got Nyithindo Primary School. All these are close and are within the vicinity of the parish. Yet KTN avoided either mentioning or showing them. Most of the clergy KTN interviewed were new in their parishes, and some were not even the parish priest. It was therefore malicious to ask a new parish priest or assistant priest whether he had asked the Archdiocese to build a convent, chapel, school, etc. Yet these were part of the Archdiocese development plan initiated by his predecessor.
Considering that funds for some of the projects in question were received in November last year, how realistic would it have been to launch and complete a construction project within a couple of months? It is equally important to note that the projects normally have implementation time frame, which the KTN story totally ignored. The funds applied for from donors are not sufficient to implement any of the projects mentioned in the KTN story. For instance, we applied for $30,000, which is about 2.9 million Kenyan shillings, to build the Cathedral Convent. But we will require more than 7 million Kenyan shillings to build that convent. And we normally don't receive the whole amount we apply for. For instance, at times we apply for $30,000, but only receive 20,000 or even less. KTN also claimed that the name of our brother in Bondo was used to divert more than 2 million Kenyan shillings. Fabrication of information is a violation of journalistic ethics, and this is exactly what KTN reporters did. They claimed that they interviewed a brother in Bondo, yet we don't have brothers in Bondo. We challenge KTN to prove that we have a brothers community in Bondo, and to prove the name of the brother in Bondo has been used to divert more than 2 million Kenyan shillings. KTN should also show when this happened, the source of the funds, and who took them. It is equally striking to note that throughout the story, KTN claims that millions of shillings appear to have been swindled. But towards the end, the figures are drastically increased from millions to billions. This is a deliberate attempt to inflate the story and to malign the name of the Archdiocese of Kisumu. This is indeed an unprecedented smear campaign against the office of the Archbishop of Kisumu. As we previously said, we read mischief and malice in the way the KTN story was crafted and aired, and believe it was meant to character assassinate the Archbishop of Kisumu.
We would like to express our solidarity with our Archbishop, who has displayed extraordinary apostolic zeal in the service of the gospel. Please don't let these baseless allegations discourage you from your apostolic duties and commitment to fight against corruption and injustice in our society.
I feel humbled to invite His Grace Zacchaeus Okoth to address us as the Father of Archdiocese. Welcome, Your Grace.
As you are aware, some time back, KTN featured a story accusing my office of swindling millions of Kenya shillings. Several months have passed between the time of confidential documents were handed over to KTN and the time they aired the story. I too have taken time to reflect, pray, and prepare to react to the allegations. I know some of you thought I didn't react immediately because I had something to hide. That is not the case. Well, it is time to set the record straight. From our investigations, it appears that confidential documents in parcels addressed to the Apostolic Nuncio's office in Nairobi to be forwarded to Rome were illegally intercepted, photocopied, and handed over to KTN journalists. Before reacting to the allegations of corruption, I would like to point out that what KTN reporters did was a violation of the diplomatic law. According to the 1961 Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, official diplomatic communication is inviolable. Being an ambassador, the Apostolic Nuncio's papers and correspondence are inviolable, and whoever intercepts and publishes the content such correspondence violates the principle of the Vienna Convention on the diplomatic relations. Such a person may be lawfully be prosecuted and punished. Furthermore, the interception and disclosure of private communication without being authorized by a judge is an offense. I categorically reject the KTN's allegations as inaccurate, unreliable, and misleading. The office of the Archbishop is not guilty of any wrongdoing. I want to state clearly that I have never and will never swindle the money belonging to my archdiocese. I would like to assure you that none of the funds received by the Archdiocese of Kisumu in 2014 for projects have been misappropriated. Some of the documents KTN claims to have are not the ones we sent to our donors. The KTN reporters even used a misleading picture. Before claiming that funds for new and ongoing projects have been swindled, the least KTN should have done was to check and verify if the said funds had been received, when they were received, and whether or not they were missing from the account where they were supposed to be. Your journalists have an important function of exposing wrongdoing and corruption. Your profession, however, requires that you secure proof of wrongdoing before making serious allegations, such as the ones in question. Next time you need information from the Archbishop's office, please use the right channels and procedures. Even though this issue has caused me much suffering and pain, I forgive whoever did it. I forgive whoever did it. And will continue to pray for him, for the good of the Catholic Church. I feel the suspect's name should not be disclosed to the public. I do not hold any grudge against the person, who can rest assured of my fatherly and spiritual support. Since this issue came up, the Archdiocese of Kisumu has been put on trial. I would like to sincerely thank the clergy and the faithful of our Archdiocese and people of goodwill in different parts of the world who have been fasting and praying for us. We have also received so many messages of solidarity and encouragement. I request you to continue praying for the person who did this, for the faithful of our Archdiocese, and for me. Thank you, and God bless.
Yeah.